I often get asked how I have motivation, right? How I'm so disciplined, how I'm always on top of things, setting new goals, achieving them, hitting them without ever really getting into a plateau or times of just stopping completely, right? And what you have to dig deep with yourself. I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys, and I'm just gonna speak to you like how I'm speaking to one of my friends on a FaceTime call. You gotta use the past as your motivation, right? If you've ever grown up and you got bullied when you were in school, maybe you were overweight, maybe you didn't look the best, you had the acne all over your face, you just got made fun of. I don't care if you got into a breakup with a girl that hurt you really bad, if you lost a friend, if you lost a parent, right? We all have these things that we went through as kids, or even just recently, or maybe you're going through it right now. You have to understand that God is blessing you. That people will never change because they don't have something that's pushing them, because they don't have that fuel, but you have that fuel. And it might not feel like it right now because you're going through the thing, or you're just depressed and you're just going through a really hard time in life, but you don't understand that God is literally giving you the fuel that you've been praying for, that you've been asking for, in order to get to that next level, in order to actually make that change and start, in order to get that dream physique and finally feel confident with that guy in the mirror, that woman in the mirror. You have to use these things to your advantage. And every single time when someone texts me, or even like my clients on our weekly one-on-one calls, and they're like, yo, Miles, like, I'm just really not feeling it this week. I somewhat fell off. I ate this last night. I always result back to, why did you start this in the first place? Remember that person that started. Remember that person that went through that traumatic event as a kid, or what you're going through right now. Do you really want to go back to that? Do you want to go back to the old habits that's been keeping you stuck for this long? And you have to use what you went through as that motivation. Every single time you step into that gym, I want you to think about that. And not in a sad way, but something to push you. Because you guys don't understand that 99% of the time, people will never change. They never take action, or they get stuck in the same cycles of looking the same, not getting any type of progress with their physique their entire lives, because they don't have something pushing them. But you've been through something. You have that fuel to the fire. You have that motivation inside of you, but you got to bring it out. You got to bring that dog outside. You got to bring that dog outside of you. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you have something like that, it's a gift from God. And again, it might not feel like it in the moment because you're going through this and you're dealing with the depression, but you got to let it out inside the gym. And once you do that, and once you make that mental switch in realizing that you have a superpower in order to get to your true potential, you're gonna be like, holy shit! You're gonna start going harder in the gym. You're gonna start eating cleaner. You're gonna start actually sticking to your diet, meal, whatever the case may be, and you're actually gonna be able to get there. But on those days where you don't feel like doing it, or maybe you're just going through a hard time, or maybe you haven't even just started yet, I want you to think about what you went through. Use that shit as fuel. Every single time I'm in the gym, I'm thinking about, the girl that broke my heart in the past. I'm thinking about the friends I lost. I think about the times when I had like my little chubby phase when I was in elementary school and I got bullied, when people wouldn't take me serious because I wasn't in shape, because I getting picked on, and like just all these traumatic events. Every single time I'm losing motivation, I result back to that. And that's what you have to use. And it doesn't ever make sense to me how some of you guys have gone through things like this and you still won't change. You have to realize you have a superpower in your hands. You have a superpower. And most people never go through shit like how you did. And that's why everybody else is the same, but you're different. You got to use that to your advantage. Life isn't fair. We all know that. Life will never be fair. And that's why you gotta use the cheat code sometimes. And for you, that's what you went through. So please, if you really want to make that change, if you really want to get in shape, chase your true potential, you got to realize what you have in hand and use it to your advantage. Because if not, you will never change. You're going to end up like everybody else who's in their mid-20s and starts getting health problems. You start getting the lower back problems. You grow up, have a wife and kids, and you can't even play with your kids because you're out of shape. You wake up every single day in the same cycle, looking in the mirror, hating yourself, going to work, being miserable, coming home, eating like shit, watching Netflix. It's the same cycle every single day. And then boom, you wake up one day and look in the mirror and be like, holy shit, 5 years has gone by. What happened to me? What happened to that guy that used to have that motivation? What happened to that guy that went through that thing and had that fire in him? It's not going to hit you until you have that moment of realization one day and you just randomly wake up and realize that you lost yourself. But then is when you have that fuel, that power, and you got to use it to your advantage. If not, you will end up like everybody else. You're going to be out of shape. You're not going to get the respect you want. You're going to hate that man in the mirror for the rest of your life. You got to stop expecting someone to come save you, because it's not going to happen, especially if you're a grown-ass man watching this. Use that shit to your advantage. Use the fuel and the fire you have inside of you and start working towards that goal. Start getting in the gym. Start eating healthy and bring that dog out of you. That's the only way you're going to make a change, is keeping yourself accountable and using that to your advantage. Don't be like everybody else, and don't stay the same. Don't get comfortable and end up being like these people who are out of shape and die early or have all these health problems. Be the 1%. Be that person who actually gets their true potential, that chases their true potential. Because I'm telling you, if not, you will wake up one day and it's going to be too late and you won't realize it until then. Take advantage now. Stop waiting for a feeling of a perfect time to be ready, because life is always going to be in the way. Just jump into it and start. You will get ahead of 99% of people if you just start and take action. It's that simple. There's no other cheat code. Start and take action. Use the pain as fuel. New Year's is coming around. I don't want to hear nothing about New Year, new me, because all of y'all just fall off after February. Start now. Get ahead of the pack and chase your true potential and realize what you have in your hands. Use that shit to your advantage and get to where you want to be in life. Start now.